Hello bankers, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome back. So welcome to JAIIB CAIIB Prep. So guys, in this particular session, we are going to discuss our very last unit from Module C, which is reforms and development in Indian financial system. All right. So if you talk about this particular unit, like we have already done with all these like these particular topics. So reforms and development in banking sector. So which in very small unit, and again we have some targeted areas in the form of subtopic itself. Okay. So which include infrastructure financing, and for infrastructure financing we have newly built DFI, that is NaBFID. Okay, so apart that is National Bank for Infrastructure and Development 2021 itself. Then we have NARCL, the National Asset Reconstruction Bank, which work as a bed bank. And the EASE program, enhance ease of access and service excellence. So ease, the current ease for 24-25 is 7.0, and it was started in 2018 itself. Okay, so far we have 7 version of this particular one. Okay, so these are the areas, ease of access and सर्विस एक्सीलेंस. ठीक है, सो कहीं ना कहीं ये कुछ आपके सब टॉपिक्स हैं. विद द हेल्प ऑफ multiple MCQs and application based question and case studies, we are going to discuss these particular one in detail. All right, so start करते हैं आपका with the very first question. ठीक है, so is sometimes it is also known as enhance access and service excellence. ठीक है, banking reforms initiatives um, has evolved over multiple phases. The current one is 7.0. Which of the following is not की फोकस ऑफ ईज 6.0. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ना 2 ईज आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, वन इज ईज फर्स्ट वर्जन, ठीक है, ईज 1.0. अनदर वन इज द रीसेंट वन, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, ईज 7.0. बट आवर क्वेश्चन इज बेस्ड ऑन ईज 6.0, but we are going to discuss all these different version of this particular one. ठीक है, so ईज 6.0 का फीचर कौन सा नहीं है? Strengthening customer service through technology is part of this particular one. Improving business operation using digital and analytics, yes. Developing long-term infrastructure financing for public sector bank, no. Enhancing human resource operation and workforce efficiency, again yes. Okay, so what will be your correct answer? Option C will be right answer for this particular one. Okay, so E is 6.0, which focus on improving customer services, leveraging digital and analytics, enhancing technological capabilities, and strengthening HR practices. These were some key focus areas of E 6.8. Okay, 6.0. So enhance access and service excellence is an initiative focus on improving banking services by leveraging technology, simplifying our processes, and enhancing customer experience. Okay? So this was the core agenda of this EASE program. Okay? In the context of Indian banking system, EASE framework was introduced by government to reinforce public sector bank through governance reforms. Okay? So this is applicable on public sector banks primarily, and to increase the customer experiences and all. So that was the primary focus of this particular one. Okay, so it start with 2018. So 2018 is one. Okay, then is 2 आपका 2019, and the latest one is 7, okay, which is 2024 or 25. Okay, so we will go through all these particular one by one. Okay, so first we will discuss is 6.0 and is 6.7.0. Then we will discuss all the all the variants of in this particular series. Okay, so is 6.0 is a reform program for banking sector in India that focus on customer-friendly banking, and 22 action points across 4 themes. These 4 themes were: first one is customer services, developing excellence in customer services through enhanced technology, digital and analytics. Okay. So improving business through digital and analytics uses of AI and all. Okay. Technology and data, building capabilities with technology and data, people and HR. So developing people and improving HR operations. So this was the core agenda. Okay. 7.0, that is the current one, okay, which is applicable in 2024-25. So E 7.0 focus on assessing risk, managing non-performing assets, financial inclusion, customer services, and digital transformation. Women played a key role in the recent journal elections. So accounting for 3 point this particular voters and all, because these are the key themes under this particular one. Okay? So E 7.0, which generally focus on customer experiences, enhance and transparent services, technology adoption, people and culture, governance and accountability are the features of this particular one. Okay? So is now 2000 is 1 2018. It responsive and responsible public sector banks. This was the theme. Okay? So it launched to build a firm foundation addressing key operational and capability gap to recapitalize public sector banks. Is 2.0 2019. Clean and smart banking. This was the theme for this particular year. Okay. And continue to systematically address the root cause of weakness in public sector bank to drive smart banking. 2020 is 3.0 smart tech enabled banking for aspiring India. So shifted focus toward the providing the way for transformation of public sector bank into digital and data driven next generation bank. 2021 is 4.0 tech enable simplified and collaborative banking is 4.0. Accelerated digital banking and introduce new themes on collaborative banking and technology resilience. 2022, 2022 is 5.0, which focus on enhanced digital experiences, data driven, integrated and inclusive banking. So enhance digital experience with technology integration, including cloud, account aggregator and open APIs. 2023 is 6.0 customer friendly banking enabled by modern capabilities. So further evolve areas of reform based on emerging business realities like cybersecurity, data enabled capability, building and customer service with digital enhancement. Enablements. 2024, the current stage of ease, economic development, customer delight, and resilient banking. So these are some core areas of this particular one. So it's being launched with an emphasis on enabling bank to drive national priorities, maintaining a strong customer service orientation, managing operational risk effectively, and catalyzing new age capability building. Okay? So these are the 7 E's. Okay? So please do go through these particular things, and we have discussed these particular one in our concept class as well, and I have done one separate video on the E's reforms also. Okay? तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. You can expect at least one question based on this particular one. It can be for half marks or 1 marks also, right? So which of the following statement correctly describe the purpose and a function of National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, NARCL? ठीक है. So it is like earlier we have आपका ARCs, ठीक है. So Asset Reconstruction Companies, तो उन्हीं के उसमें आपका वी फॉर्म अ बेड बैंक्स. ठीक है. तो बेड बैंक्स आपका विच अगेन वर्क फॉर मेजरली इनिशियल इट वाज फॉर PSUs, ठीक है, पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स आपका, उनकी बैलेंस शीट को क्लीन करने के लिए वी कम अप विद दिस पर्टिकुलर वन. ठीक है. सो NRCL वाज सो व्हाट वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट्स आपका. ठीक है. So NRCL was created to replace existing ARCs. No, it is not going to replace the existing ARCs. NRCL acquire bad loans from bank at a market value and sell them to private investors for immediate recovery. Again, no, it is generally hold those particular asset, it generally pays 15% upfront and 85% on the recovery things. Okay? The next statement, which is true. Okay? NRCL was established to purchase stress asset from bank at net book value, okay, paying 15% upfront in cash and issuing security receipt for remaining 85%. Very important statement about the NARCL, and very important one and the correct one. Okay? NRCL is a private sector led initiative. No, it's a government initiative. Okay? So option C will be right answer for this one. NRCL was set up as bad bank to acquire stress asset of public sector banks. It purchased a loan at net book value, paying 15% upfront in cash and issuing security receipt for remaining 85%. This statement is very 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 important. ठीक है, सो मेरा सभी से गुजारिश होगा कि आप प्लीज इसको ध्यान रखिएगा. ठीक है, मैक्सिमम टाइम यू विल सी द क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर लाइन. ठीक है, the structure help clean up public sector banks balance sheet, allowing them to focus on core banking activities. So the primary goal of this particular institution is to clean up the balance sheet of banks itself. So they can focus, that means they can meet up the regulatory requirements and they can focus on the overall business building activities and all right, next one. So few things about the NARCL. The idea is that NARCL will acquire stress asset from a bank and then work to resolve them over a period of time. This will help clean up the balance sheet of public sector banks. Bank will transfer identified bad loan to NARCL at net book value less provisions held, that is net book value. NRCL will pay 15% of the consideration amount in cash and issue a security receipt for the balance 85%. NARCL has been set up as a bed bank for around 2 lakh crores of stress asset of public sector bank. Private sector bank can also transfer their NPAs to NARCL, but primary objective was public sector bank, but now it is also open for the private sector bank. NARCL will then focus on resolving these bad assets through various means like restructuring, selling to ARCs, invoking changes in ownership under the IBC, etc. Okay? So these are some important statement about NARCL. Next one. Which of the following correctly explain key challenges faced by faced by the earlier generation of development financial institution in India? Okay. Lack of government support of regulatory policies, no. Difficulty in assessing low cost retail deposit, which were largely controlled by bank. This is 100% true, because these low cost retail deposit, they have more trust on the banking system instead of DFIs. Okay? So this was a bigger challenge for these small institutions and all. Okay? Strict restrictions on public sector lending imposed by RBI, inability to raise long note. Option D will be right answer for this particular one. Okay? So earlier DFI struggled because retail deposit access was dominated by commercial bank, making difficult for DFI to secure long-term low-cost funds. They limited their ability to finance large-scale project without government backing. Okay? Now, why we have mentioned earlier here, okay? Now we have payment bank or small finance bank and all. Okay? So they have gained the trust from the customers also, and nowadays, like customers, they are actively opening their accounts with these particular institutions also. All right. So DFI, after independence, the institutional framework for development financial institution, development banking began with the setting up of this industrial finance. Sorry, it is about the DFI. I have taken this like MFI. So DFI, actually, they do not deal with the like they do not deal with the customers things and all, or retail customers. So they have mostly depended on the governments, the funds which are generally provided by government itself. ठीक है, आपका domestic financial institution, not आपका microfinance institutions. My bad. ठीक है. So and we have discussed this one entire unit also. ठीक है. I hope you guys can relate that particular one. So IFCI was the first DFI in the country, which was established in 1948. Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI 1964. In Industrial Investment Bank of India 1972. NABARD your 1982. Exim आपका 1982. And we have SIDBI 1990. ICIC was established in 1955, one of the largest DFI that time, and now they become a commercial bank. Even this आपका IDBI also and SDFC आपका, so these initially they do not have that much of faith from the retail customers and all now, but they have, like, they are one of the leading commercial bank in the country itself. So they are raising funds from the retail investors and they are lending to the larger project also. Okay? So in the past, DFI such as ICICI, IDBI, IDFC transform into universal banking, as they did not have advantages of low cost funding for long-term project. DFI are sector specific, such as electrification corporation, REC, NABARD for agriculture and allied areas. Then the other one also Exim and SIDBI and all. Okay? So now we will go through this particular question again. Okay? Which of the following correctly explain key challenges faced by development financial institutions? Okay? So what is the challenge they are generally facing this? Initially आपका. So then there are few DFI who become one of the largest or biggest universal bank in the country right now. Like we have this IDBI, SDFC, ICICI. ठीक है, they started as a DFI itself, right? तो ये हमने लास्ट उसमें भी आपका डिस्कस किए थे. Next one. Which of the following is not a function of NABFID? So National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, 1921, 2021, sorry. So providing consultancy services related to infrastructure financing, true. Extending loan and advances to long-term infrastructure project, true. Regulating foreign investment in infrastructure, no. This is not done by the same. It generally comes under the purview of RBI itself. Okay. Facilitating negotiation with government bodies to dispute resolution, yes. So what will be your correct answer? C will be right answer for this one. Okay. So NABFID facilitate foreign participations. NABFID facilitate foreign participation in infrastructure project, but it does not regulate that particular area. Its role is primary to attract investment and organize participation, not to रेगुलेट देम. ठीक है, तो एक बार जल्दी से इनको आपका देख लेते हैं. ठीक है, सो एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ नेफिड विल बी set up as a corporate body, or it is being already set up. ठीक है, so corporate body with an authorized share capital of 1 lakh crores, and initially this entire stakeholding belongs to Government of India. Government of India, they can reduce their stake in NABFID on gradual basis up to 26%. ठीक है, as per the formation of NABFID itself. ठीक है, और ये हमने पढ़ा है आपका DFIs के साथ बहुत डिटेल में. ठीक है, so आपका share of NABFID may be held central government, multilateral institutions, sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, insurer, financial institution, bank, any other institution prescribed by the central government. Initially, central government will own 100% share of this particular institution. Subsequently, they can reduce this particular one up to 26%. This is the minimal one. Government, they cannot do disinvestment in this particular one below 26% or above 74% as per the norms or as per the establishment of DFI itself. This NABFID itself. So management of NABFID will govern by a board of directors. The member of board include the chairperson appointed by central government with consultation in consultation with RBI. Managing director, up to 3 deputy managing directors, 2 directors nominated by central government, up to 3 directors elected by shareholders, a few independent directors. A body constituted by central government will recommend candidate for the post of the managing director and deputy managing director. The board will appoint independent director based on the recommendation of internal committee. October 2021, banking veteran Sri K.V. Kamath has been appointed or designated as the first chairman of NaBFID itself. ठीक है. Component of infrastructure, basically it will decide the scope of NaBFID. ठीक है. So according to government classification, infrastructure companies of the following sector like construction, electricity generation, ठीक है, transmission and distribution, gas generation, and distribution through pipeline through pipes, ठीक है, water works and supply, non conventional energy generation and distribution, railway tracks, road and bridge, telephone lines and telecommunication, pipeline for water, crude oil, slurry, waterways, port facilities, canal network for irrigation and sanitation and sewages. Okay, so this is kind of a scope. ठीक है, like जो नेफिड के प्रोजेक्ट हैं वो आपका फाइनेंस करेंगे कहीं ना कहीं इन सारे एरियाज के अंदर आपका. ठीक है दोस्तों, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. फंक्शन ऑफ नेफिड. ठीक है, so function of NABFID will have both financial as well as development objective. Financial objective will be in directly or indirectly land invest or attract investment for infrastructure project located entirely or partially in India. Central government will prescribe the sector to be covered under the infrastructure domain, which we have seen in our previous page itself. Okay, so these are the project which will be comes under this infrastructure domain. Okay. So main functions, it is extending loan and advances to infrastructure project, those infrastructure related activities, taking over or refinance such existing loan, attracting investment from private sector investors and industrial investors from infrastructure project, ongoing and facilitating foreign participation in infrastructure project, facilitating negotiation with various government authorities for dispute resolution in the field of infrastructure financing, and providing consultancy services in infrastructure financing. Okay, this is the most important part again. So I have taken this particular screenshot from your book itself. 28 means unit number 28. So वहीं से आपका ये है content. So please do take care about this thing. All right. चलो next one. This is the kind of revision because we have discussed these particular pointers in past also, right? Which of the following is a key objective of Indradhanush Plan? Indradhanush Plan. So there was 7 steps. That's why it is called Indradhanush, and it was launched in 2015 itself. Okay? After that, in 2018, we come up with each program. Okay? Launched by the government of India for public sector bank. Again, this was also for the public sector bank. ठीक है, तो पहले इंद्रधनुष प्लान लेके आएगा 7 steps के साथ how we can improvise all these public sector banks. ठीक है, then in 2018 during that budgetary announcement, government they generally come up with the EASE program. ठीक है, so this is also a budgetary announcement itself, right? So enhance digital banking capabilities to increase financial, not only about the digital banking. ठीक है, addressing capital requirement, government reform, governance reforms, and accountability in public sector banks through merging all public sector, enhancing universal bank model. And option B will be right answer. So Indradhanush Plan, which was launched in 2015 to remap public sector bank through 7 key reforms focusing on capital infusion, de-stressing public sector bank, empowerments, accountability, governance reforms, and improving efficiency. ठीक है, so इंद्रधनुष होता है ना आपका rainbow, there are 7 colors. So again, under this particular plan also, government they come up with 7 key steps or key measures or key areas. With that, they are generally trying to improvise the overall health of that public of those particular public sector banks. ठीक? It was crucial step before implementing बैंकिंग रिफॉर्म्स अंडर ईज. ठीक है, तो अभी आपका ईज के थ्रू वो सारी चीजें आपका की जाती हैं. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वन. Under the Basel III norms, Indian banks are required to maintain a minimum capital to risk weight asset CRAR. So what is the percentage of this particular one? So it is 11.50%. Yes, हाँ, ठीक है. तो क्या होता है आपका CAR is how much? 9% for Indian banks as per the recommendation of Narasimham Committee to 1998. And capital आपका CCB, ठीक है. So CCB is your आपका 2.50%. So in total it become how much? 11.50%. ठीक है. So capital conversion buffers. ठीक है. So as per the Basel III norms in India, the minimum CRAR is requirement is 9%. Okay. So it is like this is also called CRAR. Okay, CRAR. Okay. CAR is in India, it is known as this, 9%. So Indian banks are required to minimum capital to risk weight asset of this one. Okay. So, but RBI mandate additional 2 point. So this is also part of this one only. Okay. So it is total आपका 11.50%. This ensure bank have sufficient capital to absorb potential losses. ठीक है. तो basically आपका इसका पूरा story क्या है? When you will come to the CIB examination, CIB is all about Basel, BC, BS norms and all. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे कैसे आपका earlier like we have this CAR capital adequacy ratio of 9%. With the recommendation of Basel III, we added one another layer to this protection things that is generally known as CCB, ठीक है, of 2.50%. अब ये क्यों बनाया गया? We added one additional layer apart from the CAR or CRAR, ठीक है. So if something happened in the market, if there is some crisis like 2007-18, first it will hit or breach to this particular one, ठीक है, then it will come here. तो उससे पहले we will get enough time to handle that particular situation, ठीक है. ये दो तो आपका kind of mandatory हैं. Apart from this also we have some certain mandatory ratios like we have LCR, liquidity coverage ratio, and we have NSFR, ठीक है, आपका नेट स्टेबल फंडिंग रेशियो, ठीक है. एंड ऑल्सो वी ऑल्सो लाइक BCBS ऑल्सो सजेस्टेड काउंटर साइक्लिकल बफर CCB फॉर द लिवरेज प्रोडक्ट, बेसिकली आपका जो डेरिवेटिव्स और इसमें होते हैं. सो फॉर एक्सपोजर इट इज 3% आपका, बट दैट इज कैलकुलेटेड ऑन द रिस्क एक्सपोजर. दिस इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ आपका रिस्क वेट एसेट इटसेल्फ, ठीक है. ज्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेना है, सिंपल सा जो पॉइंट्स है उनको ध्यान में रखना है, ठीक है. CIB में आएंगे तो बहुत डिटेल में आपका डिस्कस करेंगे. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग मेजर was introduced under financial sector legislative reforms commission recommendations, ठीक है. So establishment of unified financial regulatory agency to replace RBI, ठीक है. Introduction of Indian Financial Code IFC was part of this one to modernize financial laws like financial laws from all the four major regulators like RBI, SEBI, IRDA and PFRD. ठीक है. So Financial Sector Legislative Reform Commission proposed IFCs, ठीक है, Indian Financial Code, to simplify and unify multiple financial laws governing banking, insurance, and capital market. However, it was not fully implemented, and regulatory power remains divided among these particular one. But we got one another regulatory body, one universal regulatory body for the foreign remittances or to attract the foreign investment, that is known as IFSCA, ठीक है. तो वो कहीं ना कहीं आपका indirectly that was the outcome of this particular one, ठीक है. Next one. Which of the following correctly describe the impact of PCA, prompt corrective action framework, imposed by RBI on weak banks? Team. Right now, as per my knowledge, there is no bank who generally falls under this particular category. But this was a kind of a tool जो मतलब बैंकों के ऊपर प्रॉपर नजर रखता था, ठीक है. There were three major criteria: capital adequacy, आपका your net non-performing asset, and your profitability. These were the three parameters. If you are losing those particular parameters, RBI will put you or your bank under the PCA framework, prompt corrective actions. So then RBI will impose some sort of restrictions like you cannot open new branches, or like we have three stages of PCA also: PCA 1, PCA 2, PCA 3, three different categories. Like first one PCA 1, जहाँ पे you cannot expand your business or you cannot enter in new product or new branches and all these kind of thing. PCA 3 is like you are already in danger. So here RBI can hold the salaries of directors and other also, right? So ऐसे बहुत सारे provisions आपका जो इसमें आते थे, ठीक है. So PCA allow RBI to merge weak bank with a stronger private bank? No. PCA restrict lending, dividend distribution, ऐसा था, ठीक है. Branch expansion for bank with a weak financial health also, ठीक है. So PCA require immediate nationalization of bank. PCA impose complete halt on banking operation until capital adequacy is restored? No. This is the kind of the third step or third stage of that particular PCA itself. Okay? So under PCA bank, that breach regulatory threshold of capital adequacy. ठीक है? So आपका CRAR. दूसरा आपका asset quality. If your net non-performing asset is more than 3%, ठीक है? And your profitability is less than 3%, ठीक है? तो ऐसे 3 पैरामीटर्स आपका जिनको कहीं ना कहीं उनके ऊपर आरबीआई के द्वारा कुछ रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगाए जाते थे फॉर अ टाइम बिंग, ठीक है? एंड अगर उन्होंने वो चीजें मीटअप कर लिया, वहां से बाहर निकलेंगे तो पीसी हटा दिया जाएगा, और अगर नहीं करेंगे और अगर और ज्यादा इफ द सिचुएशन और सिनेरियो बिकम मोर डिफिकल्ट, तो दे विल इंक्रीज देयर पीसीए फ्रॉम 1 to 2, इस तरीके से आप करें. द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ प्रॉम्प्ट objective of PCA was to prevent further deterioration and restore financial stability without restoring to immediate nationalization or halting operation entirely. Right. Next one. FSDC, we have discussed this particular one earlier also. So Financial Stability and Development आपका council team, which is headed by finance ministry, right? So it is a kind of a FSDCs की meetings आपकी होती हैं where all the regulators they represent their concern or the opportunities or the new things which we can have in our Indian financial system. ठीक है? तो ये जनरली आपका all these regulators they generally comes under Ministry of Finance. तो कहीं ना कहीं उनका एक मीटिंग आपका जहां पे they are reporting to the finance minister, union finance minister. Act as a super regulator to replace RBI. No. Strength of financial stability by coordinating between regulators like IRDA, SEBI, PFRDA, and your IRDA itself. Okay? So FSDC was established in 2010 to enhance inter-regulatory coordination between RBI, SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA, and the Ministry of Finance. It does not act as a super regulators and all. Okay? So basically, it is like just having an eye or trying to build a coordination among these different regulators. Which of the following is a major recommendation of Narasimham Committee? 1991 means Narasimham Committee 1 for banking sector reforms. Okay, so in module D, we have discussed Committee 1 as well as Committee 2 itself. Okay. So merging all public sector bank, no. Reducing statutory presumptions like CRR, SLR to increase bank profitability, yes. Complete privatization, no. Establishing new central bank, no. Okay. So reducing statutory ratios like the reserve system like CRR and SLR. Okay. So Narasimham Committee 1991 recommended reducing CRR and SLR to enhance bank profitability and increase credit availability to the private sectors. It also suggests phase reductions of government ownership in banks and strengthening the prudential norms also. Okay, next one. Under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code IBC 2016 by IIBA, okay, which of the following is the maximum time limit allowed for the resolution of a corporate insolvency case? It is 330 days. Okay? So 330 days including extension and legal proceedings. This is the maximum time which like within that particular time frame they have to resolve that particular case. Okay? So as per the IBC 2016, the maximum time limit for resolution of corporate insolvency is 330 days, including initial 180 days plus 90 days extension plus legal proceeding. Okay, the initial one is 180 days plus 90 days of the extension and some legal proceedings also. But the maximum is 330 days. Okay, you cannot go beyond this particular one. Okay, this ensure a time bound resolutions. Resolutions of bank loans and prevent indefinite delays in debt recovery also, right? Next one. UPI, Unified Payment Interface, launched in 2016, one of the most emerging payment tool in the country. Operate under which of the following key principle? तो किस पे काम करता है? VP पे काम करता है, ठीक है? So users use virtual payment address to facilitate real-time interbank transactions, 100% true. Require linking only with credit cards. Mandate a minimum balance रेगुलेट डायरेक्टली मिनिस्ट्री फाइनेंस, नो, ठीक है. सो ऑप्शन ए विदाउट एनी डाउट इज द राइट आंसर फॉर दिस वन. So UPI is a real-time payment system developed by NPCI and regulated by RBI. It allows seamless interbank transaction using virtual payment address VPA instead of account numbers. Okay, next one. Which of the following was not a part of Banking Regulation Amendments 2020? ठीक है. So allowing RBI to initiate a resolution scheme for corporate banks, cooperative banks, true. Bringing cooperative banks under RBI supervision. ठीक है. So this amendment was related to cooperative bank itself. ठीक है. Allowing 100% FDI in private sector, no. ठीक है, this is not done ना. ठीक है, कितना है अभी आपका FDI in private sector? It is आपका 74% अप्रूवल रूट. ठीक है, अंडर अप्रूवल रूट. ठीक है, सो 74% मैक्सिमम, दैट इज इवन विद इन द अप्रूवल रूट. ठीक है, अदरवाइज ऑटोमेटिक रूट इट इज 49%. So empowering RBI to supersede the management of weak cooperative banks, और ये राइट RBI ने पिछले 2 सालों में काफी ज्यादा एक्सरसाइज किया है. ठीक है, सो ऑप्शन सी इज इनकरेक्ट, सो दैट विल बी योर राइट आंसर. The Banking Regulation Amendment Act 2020 aimed to strengthen RBI control over cooperative banks to prevent financial crises like Punjab and Maharashtra cooperative banks collapse, PMC बहुत ज्यादा न्यूज में आपका था. एंड इवन लाइक इन पास्ट 2 years देयर आर नंबर ऑफ बैंक्स जहां पे आरबीआई ने उनके ऑपरेशन को आपका सीज किया है. हाउएवर 100% private banks was not part of this particular amendment. The limit remains 74%. Automatic it is up to 49%. Okay, next one. Which of the following is a key impact of Basel III norms on Indian banking sector? So require bank to maintain a minimum capital to risk weight asset ratio of 12%. ठीक है, नहीं ये कितना है आपका 11.50%. ठीक है, including that CCB. Introduce CCB, capital conversion buffer and counter cyclical buffer. Yes, ठीक है, this is 100% true. They see in during Basel III there were lots of new things came. ठीक है, after this, after studying BCBS conducted their study on the global financial crisis 7-8. ठीक है, तो उसके बाद ना बहुत सारे नए नए रूल्स आपका रेशियो, जिसमें CCB आपका कैपिटल कन्वर्जन बफर ऑफ 2.5%. ठीक है, जो आपका इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया एज अ एडिशनल लेयर ऑन द एग्जिस्टिंग CAR. ठीक है, दूसरा काउंटर साइक्लिकल बफर्स आपका, दिस इज काइंड ऑफ रिकमेंडेशंस आपका. ठीक है, इसमें रिकमेंडेशंस क्या दिया गया कि like during global financial crisis there were some countries, especially those Nordic nation banks, they did not get affected as the rest world get affected through that particular crisis. ठीक है, तो ग्लोबल फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस जो जिसका कंटेजियन इफेक्ट पूरे दुनिया में देखने के लिए मिला, वहां पे नहीं हुआ. रीजन क्या था? क्योंकि वो बैंक क्या करते थे वहां के, इन देयर गुड टाइम दे सेव मोर. ठीक है, एक जनरल परसेप्शन होता है ना कि जब आपका सही समय चल रहा है, ज्यादा पैसा बचाओ, यूज दैट पर्टिकुलर वन फॉर देयर बैड टाइम और डाउन टर्न, इकोनॉमिक डाउन टर्न. ठीक है, तो सेम आपका वो चीज इन्होंने भी यहाँ पे सजेस्ट किया कि लाइक बैंक दे शुड वर्क ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर अप्रोच. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस वी हैव आपका लिवरेज कवरेज रेशियो. ठीक है, कितने से आपका 3% का LCR. ठीक है, आपका लिवरेज रेशियो, सॉरी, ठीक है, लिवरेज रेशियो. ठीक है, देन वी हैव आपका लिक्विडिटी कवरेज रेशियो, इट शुड बी ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 100%. ठीक है, देन वी हैव NSFR, ठीक है, नेट स्टेबल फंडिंग रेशियो, आपका ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 100%. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे नए नए टूल्स आपका जो इंट्रोड्यूस किए गए थे वहां पे. ठीक है, सो ऑप्शन बी विल बी राइट आंसर for this particular one. ठीक है, the Basel III norms introduce stricter capital requirement including CCB to protect against losses, counter-cyclical buffer to maintain during period of excessive credit growth, minimum CRAR is 9%, and only specific investments categorized under tier 1 things and all. Okay? So CRAR is 9% and your capital conversion buffer is 2.50%. That means bank they have to maintain 11.50% additional to their risk weight asset. तो जिसमें आपका CAR या जिसको BCBS के द्वारा कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी रेशियो बोला गया, यहाँ हम इसको बोलते हैं आपका CRAR. ठीक है, और 2% का एक एडिशनल लेयर आपका दैट इज नोन एज CCB. Which of the following best describe the prompt corrective action framework imposed by RBI on weak bank? Okay. A legal process shut down banks? No. A regulatory mechanism that impose restrictions on bank based on the financial health indicators. Okay. We have already discussed this particular one. Okay. So RBI restrict weak bank from expanding operation if they fail to meet financial norms related to capital adequacy requirements. Okay. That means that CRAR. Okay. Asset quality, okay? So that is something linked with your net non-performing assets and profitability measure. Okay? So these were the three key indicators which RBI used to monitor the bank performance and all. It helped prevent a bank failures but does not shut them down immediately. Okay? Next one. Which of the following statement about a new development bank, ठीक है, which is also known as ब्रिक्स बैंक, ठीक है, इसको हम लोग आपका ब्रिक्स BRICS ब्रिक्स बैंक के नाम से भी जानते हैं, ठीक है. सो ब्रिक्स इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ ग्रुप, ठीक है, आपका ब्राजील, रशिया, इंडिया, चाइना एंड साउथ अफ्रीका, ठीक है, इन्हीं के द्वारा मिलकर एक आपका बैंक बनाएगा. दैट बैंक इज जनरली नोन एज ब्रिक्स बैंक, ठीक है, जहाँ पे मैक्सिमम कंट्रीब्यूशन वाज डन बाय चाइना, देन फॉलोड बाय इंडिया, देन रशिया एंड अदर कंट्रीज, ठीक है. साउथ अफ्रीका दे हैव मिनिमम कंट्रीब्यूशन, बट ऑल द 5 countries they have equal voting right in this particular one, ठीक है. So it was founded by G7 nation. No, it was founded by BRICS nations. Its headquarters is located in Shanghai, China. बिल्कुल सही, ठीक है. And was established by the BRICS nations. True. It exclusively provide funding to project India and China. No, not only India and China, all the member nations. It replaced the IMF. No, ठीक है, IMF को रिप्लेस करना अभी इतना आसान नहीं है, ठीक है. So New Development Bank was established by BRICS nations in 2015 and its headquarters is located in Shanghai, China. It provides loan for infrastructure project in emerging countries but does not replace the IMF itself. Okay, next one. What was the primary reason behind the introduction of financial stability and development council? So to build a coordination among the national financial regulators, to enhance inter-regulatory coordination and monitor financial stability or risk. So option A only is the right answer. आगे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है. So FSDC was set up in 2010 to enhance coordination among financial regulators and to monitor systemic financial stability. Does not replace RBI and all these kind of things, okay? So this is it. So guys, this is all about your module C. Okay, so now from next session onwards, we are going to start with our module A. So we have done with module your module D and C. That means your 50% preparation is done for this particular subject. All right. So now module A and B. If you talk about the module C and D, module D, it has more importance because we have 17 units part of that particular one, and they are kind of a product which we generally deal on regular basis. And whenever you see any kind of module based examination, they are more like question will be more based on the applied things, ठीक है. तो अब जो A and B हैं, they have equal weightage, they all about the economy things, ठीक है. तो अब हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ economics की बात करेंगे. Indian the topic name, subject name is आपका Indian economy and financial system. So financial system we have done. Now we'll talk around the economic things. All right. So I hope you guys enjoying these particular classes on regular basis. You can also access to our practice set and all, okay, by visiting our application also. So that link is given in the description box itself. So this is it from my side, guys. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you for watching this session. Bye bye. Take care all. Have a nice day. Thank you.